Got a question for you all in the live chat straight away this morning, and everybody watching in. Would you swap Manchester United's top striker target, Liam Dilap, for the best-in-class number 8? I want to talk about what Romano has said late last night regarding Edison from Atalanta, Manchester United's situation in terms of what they can spend now compared to after June 31st and after sales are made. Talking on updates on Andre Onana, Liam Dilap, Matheus Cunha, Edison and more this morning, everybody, and why Manchester United's centre-back hunt has taken a bit of a twist as well. All the latest updates and all of the rumours from around last night's news and what is going into this morning live here this morning on Forever United TV, 25th of April. Not long now until Manchester United play again, which is on Sunday. Why does it feel like the football isn't really important anymore, and it's kind of let's get to the Europa League and let's get to the end of the season factor? It's got that weird vibe about it. But Ruben Amorim will be talking to the media later on this afternoon in regards to the Bournemouth game this weekend, away from home, 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday afternoon. The games are ticking away and the clock is ticking in terms of Manchester United preparing themselves for that transfer window opening. I want to get into what Romano said off the back of what Ornstein said again. I know we've used these two quite a lot, but let's be honest, they are the two in the know and the two that have broke the most significant news so far this transfer window. That is that Matheus Cunha is now in advanced talks, an advanced stage with Manchester United. There is one more round of talks just to finalise things. The here we go on Cunha is literally around the corner, according to Fabrizio Romano. But the important thing what I want to start with today is Manchester United's hunt for that other player. The one we've all been talking about, the striker. But we all know that Manchester United also need a number 8. We're crying out for a number 8. So that question that I asked at the top of the show, would you sacrifice the signing of Liam Dilap if it wasn't working out right and Manchester United maybe had to spend a little bit more to bring in the absolute best in class in a number 8 in Edison from Atalanta? I've spoken about Edison a couple of times before. His name has started to pop up a lot more. Really happy about that, by the way, because Manchester United really do need that number 8. And if we are going for Edison, then we are going for the right man, 100% guaranteed in that. But what is happening? What is the dilemma with Ruben Amorim and this situation with Edison right now? Well, the latest on Edison and Fabrizio Romano, from what he said, was Edison is a dream target for United and he's being considered as the perfect player for Amorim. We said that last night. But on top of that, Romano has now said they also know how tough it is to negotiate with Atalanta. So this is not a deal that can happen quickly. Let's see if they have the financial power for it to go for it. 45 million plus. Now, that tells you a lot about Manchester United's finances right now, in that we are ready to spend nearly 100 million on a 9 and a 10 in Cunha and Dilap. And then we've got to sell players. So basically, the actual budget right now, I think, for guaranteed sakes, is 100 million. That's United spend. The priorities are the forwards, and we know about that. We've spoken about that a plenty. Cunha is over the line. Now, the situation that I'm talking about is that the night before, David Ornstein said that Manchester United want Dilap, but it's not guaranteed. That is their top target. Romano, exactly the same. Manchester United are well in for Liam Dilap. The situation regarding Dilap and where United are at right now with him is that, and this has come from Gimme Sport as well, Manchester United are being made to wait on whether Liam Dilap sees them as his next club. At the time when Chelsea are quietly confident, the deal is already swinging in their favour. Alarm bells ringing regarding Manchester United's attempts to sign Liam Dilap right now. So, what Ornstein said was, if Manchester United don't get Liam Dilap, they may look to within. Now, that worried everybody straight away because that only means Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee to a certain extent. But what would you think if Manchester United, like Ornstein said, spent that money elsewhere in another key position? Now, obviously, we need a striker. I know this, and we need to get into the market to get one. And what will be available if we don't get Dilap is, I don't know. Basically, obviously, there's a story going around, I think, from Serge Guirassy from Dortmund. He's 29. We could have bought him in January cheap, but we didn't. 70-odd million euro release clause on him. That's one name. There's Mateta. That's another name. Really? No, I don't think so. And we're struggling then, aren't we? So, What Manchester United then do, obviously, is we would have to go into the market later on in the window after selling players and maybe look to what we can get regarding a striker then and what comes up. I don't know. I don't know what happens after Dilap because there isn't enough significant news to tell us otherwise right now anyway. So Edison pops onto the scene because Manchester United do need a midfielder. And again, I still think number 9 is the key position. That's the situation. That's the conundrum, the dilemma, and the problem that we've got right now. It's a big choice. It's a tough choice, to be honest, isn't it? Because when you look at Edison, you think he's perfect for Manchester United. And Romano says, like we've known before, Manchester United want him. But the money is already tied up in Dilap, but we have to wait for Dilap. Now, there's no rush for Edison. I don't think there's anybody else who's going to come in and steal him away very, very quickly. There are no reports. And obviously, Manchester United have a good relationship with Atalanta, like we've said before on the show many a times. And that we have already spoken with Atalanta about Edison. I think he would be open for the move. I'm not too sure what would happen with the Champions League or not being in the Champions League situation with Edison and how that determines what happens. If United can move forward, if he's willing to come to Manchester United. Honestly, the key in all of this and what is happening right now, if you've got players like Matheus Cunha, who had his pick of several Champions League sides to go to this season, but chose Manchester United, that works wonders. And don't take that for granted in what that has done for Manchester United summer already. The fact that someone like him in the prime of his career would rather go United than any of the other European playing clubs in the Premier League and probably some abroad as well. If he's going to United, that sets a tone and that sends a message like maybe something is cooking at Manchester United. Do I want to be part of this? I think that's going to be things like what Liam Delap's thinking right now. Like, I could be number 1 striker at Manchester United. Edison looking at this, looking at Cunha signing for Manchester United, everything else that we're doing right now, Ruben, and all of the plans that are going ahead for Manchester United. Players like this are looking at United and going, right, okay, this is the pivotal stage of my career. I've got one big contract left. It's the same with Cunha, it's the same for Edison. Where am I committing to? Nobody else is there at the moment. He's not going to get into any of the other big European sides, Edison, I don't think right now. I'm only saying that because of the absolute numbers that other teams have got in that position. Like you could argue Arsenal, you could argue City, Liverpool, stacked in them positions with what they've got. Real Madrid stacked. Obviously, Barcelona, you could argue a point that may be one destination, but Barcelona's financial situation isn't great. Argue clubs in Italy, I don't think he's going to go anywhere in Italy because he's already competing at the top level in Italy. Then again, no, you could say that staying in Italy might suit him because he's settled in there. I think he wants a change, and again, the lure of Manchester United could actually kick in with this one here, but I think it all comes down to what United do with Liam Delap, and that story there, talking about Liam Delap actually, of Chelsea feeling like Liam Delap he's moving towards them and preferring them, is a worry for me in a way, because I look at, yes, we have got all summer and there are other strikers there, but we've KO'd Osimhen, Gyökeres, and if we lose Dilap, that's the 3 main strikers that United have been linked with. All gone. Ekitike, we would have to sell some players and some. And that's why everything changes later on in the window. What Manchester United can do, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Frankfurt are in a pretty comfortable position to finish in the Champions League right now in Germany, still within them places in the Bundesliga, and they would not need to sell Ekitike if they finished in the Champions League. The money is already there. They've got money from Marmoush and Champions League money on top. They are in no need to sell and can drive the highest bargain that they want. And that's a position United don't want to be in when going for a striker. So when you look at everything that's going on, Palace now trying to negotiate a deal for Mateta as well, in terms of a new contract. And if he was leaving then he would charge upwards of 40 million. I don't want to buy Philippe Mateta for more than 40 million quid. I'm sorry. Like, I think he's a good striker, but he's a 30 million pound striker. United have to be very, very careful. Their eggs are firmly in the Dilap basket. Should we then, if we don't get Dilap, actually look at what else is necessary? And it's a massive risk. And this is why I'm asking the question. I'm coming to the chat in a moment on this one. Edison over Dilap, knowing that United then are in a bit of a dogfight to bring in another forward. Some people would say, well, Dilap, really, there's got to be better than him and maybe something else would come about. There has to be other options for Manchester United. The options at the moment in Xerxes and Højlund are not good enough at number 9. Chido is still developing, could come to the fore. We just don't know. It's the unknown. It's dangerous. But are United looking at the fact that Cunha could play at 9? That's the one I've said before, and I mentioned this in the video yesterday, actually. Cunha could play at 9, if necessary. I don't want it to be. We are too short. Obviously, that would mean Rasmus Højlund not going, but there is more on Rasmus Højlund in a minute. But first of all, I want to get into the live chat on the Edison situation. Would you risk going into the rest of this window without a striker, knowing that Dilap is gone, but you're getting the best-in-class number 8? That's the question I'm posing straight out today anyway. So let's get into it and let's get into the chat. Thank you, everybody, already who has been involved in the chat. Get them comments in, everyone. And obviously, make sure that you do, if you are enjoying the content, pop a big thumbs up on the video. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well. Let's get into some of these. Osimhen won't be coming to United. He doesn't have the appetite or ambition to play for a big club. He's after the money and will be off to Saudi. We covered that the other day. But yes, I think I agree with you there on that one, Mr. Dacia Sandero. Dream window, Cunha and Bruno. Edison between Bruno and Cunha as starters will have enough goals. Brian Mbeumo is a player that United have been linked with. That's a question for you there, actually. Brian Mbeumo obviously plays as I can play wide 10 and striker. Does it for Brentford, leading goal scorer, up there in the top 5 leading goal scorers in the Premier League this season. I think he's got 17. So Brian Mbeumo is a target. He is going to have 1 year left on his contract. 50 million for Brian Mbeumo, 30 million plus tiny bits of add-ons for Dilap. Brian Mbeumo, still decent age player, mid-20s. Would you go for him? He's a shout. Could you put Brian Bruno into Manchester United side and expect United to score goals if he's at number 9 with Cunha and Bruno and Ahmad and Mount and Xerxes, possibly still Garnacho behind him? Yeah. Yeah, you could, couldn't you? You could. He is one option. That's a good shout straight out of the box. God, see, my subscriber base, they've got the football knowledge. You really do, don't you? Okay. I would sacrifice Liam Dilap for these 8s. Hugo Larsson from Frankfurt. Bruno Bidon from Corinthians. Reginda's AC Milan. Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. Rig and Job from Sunderland. I am not sold on Edison. I would take Edison over every single one of them, Ricardo, mate. Sorry. Completely disagree with that one, buddy, but good picks from you as well, mate. You don't need a destroyer type when you have 3 centre-halves high stepping into midfield. The destroyer type is already there in Ugarte. That was a big investment for Manchester United, and I think someone alongside him who is a ball-carrying 8 who can control a game is exactly what United need. That is Edison. That is him. He has got the engine to play 8, where Ugarte doesn't need to be bombing up and down all of the time. You will then have a free role for Bruno Fernandes in as one of the 10s. Because Bruno will start. I know people are thinking now, Cunha's in, Ahmad is playing, and you bring Edison in, Bruno will still start in that side. He will start at 10. And honestly, going into the start of the new season, you could see this lineup with, if you brought in Edison, say for instance right now, let's just look at it this way. If United can spend 100 million on Liam Dilap and Matheus Cunha, then we could spend 150 million in bringing in Cunha, Edison, and say Brian Mbeumo. We could, because then we've got other player sales to counteract that. I'm sure if we're happy to spend 100 million, we can afford to spend another 50 million with players leaving the football club. And Garnacho will leave. Obviously, Rashford, Anthony, and Sancho are all going to leave as well. The money United have saved in wages, like Ornstein said, I think it is definitely doable. 100% doable for Manchester United. But yes, you would be looking at somewhat along the lines of maybe Yoro, De Ligt, and Leacher at centre-back. You've got Mazraoui and Heaven to come in there as well. Obviously, we've seen Fredriksson and Kakonki knocking on the door at centre-back. You've got your wing-backs. What we do with the right wing-back is still up in the air right now, but you're looking at probably Dorgu starting, be it with Leon behind him and Amas. The goalkeeper situation, let's just see. Midfield would be Ugarte and Edison in there. And then you've got Bruno, probably Cunha, and Mbeumo up front. You could actually have Ahmad as right wing-back for the start. And there has been talks about Ahmad being the right wing-back still next season. United saving a bit of money and going elsewhere. One thing that I will say on Edison, before we move on everything in terms of the other news, is that it was made a point that Manchester United are looking for a number 8 as one of their key positions this summer. So after we sign a 9 and a 10, this was the original plan. Obviously, I've just give you another one with Edison over Dilap. But after the 9 and 10, it is an 8. That's the stories coming out of Manchester United. The central midfielder is the next priority. So if any sales are made and they make significant money to make a big signing, it will be that central midfielder. That's where Manchester United are going. That's where we're heading in this window. And I think it is the right way to go. It is a full new spine of attacking spine for Manchester United, because I don't think we need a centre-back. I really don't. Let's get some more comments in on this quickly. We got a super chat in from Devon, who says, Franco, Mastertano is the best player in the world. It makes Yamal look like a chicken wing. From what I've been told and what I've read and what I'm listening to right now, Manchester United are actually looking at triggering that 38 million release clause for Mastertano. We covered it last night. He could be another one down the line for Manchester United to come in. More on that as it develops. Obviously, I think that will be down the latter stages of the transfer window, and it is said to have been in August when he turns 18. So let's see what business Manchester United have done in the meantime, and then we'll take it from there, I think. I think that's the best way to look at it. Another super chat in from Leaf, Cape Town. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Adam. All of the beautiful people in the chat. Honest question: if we sign Edison and Cunha, does Bruno drop to the bench? He sometimes hold the team back. It seems spots is created for him. No, he starts every single game, mate. And I'm not just saying that arrogantly from my own opinion, because I like Bruno. Amorim will start him. He'll be in the 10 role, and this is why I think Ahmad may drop into that right wing back position if Edison comes in. I really do. You cannot ignore Bruno's impact on Manchester United. There's some journalists actually saying that Bruno Fernandes is the player of the season in the Premier League for the impact and what he's done on Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, I'm just going to tell you this right now, from what I know from speaking to people at United and everything around what's going on with United right now, transfers, players, ins and outs. Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United right now, he's not untouchable, definitely not. But there's not a chance in hell that anybody being brought in this summer is going to dislodge Bruno Fernandes. It's not. It's a vision for the future, and in a couple of years, this conversation may be different. But Bruno Fernandes next season is a guaranteed starter for Manchester United. I'm going to tell you that now. Anyone who thinks that anything that happens this transfer window is going to change that, I think, and I'm saying this really confidently, I think you're wide of the mark, I would say. It's a good question, Lido, because I think it's relevant, mate, for maybe into not next season, the season after. Bruno needs to be phased out of Manchester United, and we need to start doing the groundwork now. But right now, with what he's doing and the way he's playing, not next season. No, I don't think so, mate. It's definitely something that will happen, no. And I think we're bringing in the right type of players to give United an option to not play Bruno Fernandes. I think that's definitely something that United are looking at. And this is what a football structure does. It forward thinks around 5 to 10 years. And that's what United have to do. We need a Bruno Fernandes replacement. He's hitting his 30s now, and obviously he can't run forever. I mean, you look at Kevin De Bruyne and you think, wow, honestly, like he could go till he's 35, and that may be another plan for United. But look, I think Bruno Fernandes' latest contract takes him to, I think it's 32, 33. And then we'll make a decision then. If someone comes in with a ridiculous offer, maybe not this transfer window, the window after, maybe United would look at that. But I don't see it at all. I really don't. He signed his contract last summer. I think another 2 years on after that, a decision might be made. Dilap has done nothing this season. He's rubbish. He has, really. 13 Premier League goals is a lot. It's double and some on what Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund have done. So, yeah, and Garnacho put together. Actually, yeah, he scored more than all of our players put together in the Premier League this season. Garnacho, Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund. So, yeah, he has done something, mate. You can't say he's not. Lee back in with another super chat. To all the people in here bombing me, hold your horses. It's not a terrible take. Do you play him over Edison or Cunha? I don't think so. No, he plays with them. I think that is the answer to the question, mate. It is. I think he accompanies both of them players in Man United side. If it's Cunha, I think Bruno plays alongside him in the other 10. And don't forget, like, Cunha can play a 9. So Cunha could go in at 9. You could have Ahmed and Bruno behind him. Mount will play a big part next season if he stays fit. Big if. But Ruben does like him. Obviously, we've got the progression of Xerxes. Edison will stay and play every single game in that midfield. The good thing about Edison coming in is that Manchester United will be able to use their forwards the right way. Not forcing Bruno into 6 or 8. Just letting Bruno do what he can do up the pitch. But then you've got that controlling player that Bruno is trying to cover right now behind him. So utilising Bruno in that free role that he has, in using his energy and getting around that front line. The press would be so dynamic if Manchester United had the likes of Edison and Bruno in the side. The energy there is phenomenal. Backed up by Ugarte covering as the destroyer. And then that the centre-backs that we've got, and Yoro coming on, I think that is where United are looking. I think it is good planning. But yeah, that is that bit of news as well. Cunha, in terms of him and where we're up to, Romano last night saying that talks have advanced on him. United need one more round of talks just to finish this. Cunha is going to be the first here we go of the transfer window. In fact, it is looking likely that an agreement will be in place before the window actually opens, which is crazy. Who'd have thought that, eh? And the new window opening in June. How have Manchester United managed to get so far ahead? I'm enjoying it anyway. I am enjoying that side of it. Okay, on the Rasmus Højlund situation, that could play a part in Edison, but only if Manchester United bring in a striker. As you can see going across the bottom of your screen, Fabrizio Romano last night said that Manchester United are open to selling Rasmus Højlund. If Dilap comes in, then Rasmus Højlund could be sold by Manchester United. Now, this is why Dilap is so key to what's happening. If he comes in, that's United's striker options, I think, done. They may look elsewhere later in the window and bring in another one. They look at Cunha as another option in that area as well. And obviously Xerxes can come in and Chido's coming through. They may think that that's it. And let's be honest, funds are thin and we cannot buy too many players in the same position. Now, again, I'm going back on what I've said a little bit here as well. And I'll own up to that. But I said we needed to. We cannot afford to let Rasmus Højlund go if it's only going to be bringing Liam Dilap in. Now, Dilap, I think, is a better player from what I've seen. I do. I just don't rate Rasmus Højlund as a striker. I think he's a great lad. I think he works his ass off. But I just think he is... I think he's miles beyond what Manchester United need. Could we be sending him back to Atalanta? Now, there's a story in the papers saying that Manchester United could be looking to use Rasmus Højlund as a swap. And it's not for the likes of Edison, which is where I would go, to be honest. I would say, give us Edison and you can take Rasmus Højlund. I've also said, look, maybe loan Rasmus Højlund to Atalanta and take Edison. I've done it with a few different deals. I think I've said the same thing when we were talking about Osimhen and going to Napoli. Like, give them a little bit of incentive and say, look, there's a player on loan that can do a job for you. And for us, it works out well because, well, he gets better elsewhere and his price goes up. And then we could maybe sell him again next summer, Rasmus Højlund. But Romano has said that if Manchester United sign a striker, then Rasmus Højlund can leave. His situation is open for this summer. Angry Beaver, thank you for all of them gifted memberships, my friend. Love that, buddy. Please give him a big thank you if you have been donated one. So, yeah. That's the situation with Rasmus Højlund right now. We know that he isn't going to start next season. He's going to be on the bench. Can United afford to have a £75 million striker on the bench? Well, that's the norm these days, isn't it, for United? Poor recruitment and having to forget about price tags and just deal with what's in front of you is the way United are having to operate. And it's painful to watch. It's painful for us to look at, like at the time, Casemiro sat on the bench doing nothing on the wages that he's on and the price that we spent for him. Painful to see the likes of Mason Mount sat on the bench. All these really expensive players that United have brought in all sat there doing nothing and earning fortunes. It's annoying, but I think what Ineos have had to do is forget about what price tags were paid before and just deal with the here and now. And they did do that in the summer. And let's be honest, most of the signings, nearly all of the signings that we bought in the summer have played a significant part for Manchester United this season. The counter to that, and people coming back at me will always say, yeah, 5 signings that you saying have done well, Adam, that have contributed to our worst ever Premier League season in history. I get it, and that's a fair comment and a fair argument, but let's be honest, personally, can you really blame them players? I think Mazraoui has been excellent. So too Matthijs de Ligt. Yoro is coming into his own right now. He's looking fantastic and looks a snip at the price we paid for him. Zirkzee is improving. Agate is probably... I mean, he had a good game the other day. An alright game against Wolves. Well, to be honest, no one really did that good. It's an average game, but he could get better. But I think with the chopping and changing, and obviously the changing of manager, it's just completely sent United off to a different level of shit, basically. And Ruben coming in and making his stance has just made it harder. But whichever way Manchester United go this summer in priority-wise with the window, I do believe that Rasmus Højlund still, no matter what happens, he's going to have to be sold. He's going to have to be let go. Either this window or the next window. He's just not the future for this football club. I don't see him getting better at United is what I'm saying. I don't. He's not going to get enough game time next season. He isn't good enough now. And the pressure has got too much on him. He's lost. He's lost, isn't he? That is how I see it developing. Dilap comes in. Rasmus, like Romano said, could come out. But could we use him as a weapon in terms of a deposit or a swap or a make weight for somebody else? There are players at Atalanta that Manchester United have been watching. Tegüe, obviously leading goal scorer in Serie A, is another one United have been watching. If we don't get Dilap, could we actually use Rasmus Højlund to get Tegüe in? Just a thought. Do you know what I mean? It's there, isn't it? Lee Cape Town again, another super chat. Thank you, mate. You're on fire this morning. Dilap, I love that player. He's a hustler. And he bullies defences. He can keep the ball. He's miles better than Rasmus. As much as I like the young lad, I think a lot of people, I do like Rasmus Højlund as a lad, but not as a player. He just isn't good enough. Just is not good enough. We will see what happens. Those defenders are made of. See what those defenders are made of when we stop playing 7 at the back. De Ligt hasn't got the pace for me to play high-line football, same as Maguire didn't. Again, that's why I think it was strange, and what I want to move on to next on Andre Onana, why Manchester United actually didn't think that Onana was a priority position this summer. If you're playing high line, look at every single team at the top of the Premier League right now competing, and now their goalkeepers play. They're high line, one-on-one defending with a sweeper keeper to come out and counteract that behind them in case any balls go over the top. It is. Look at what Martinez does as a sweeper, Alisson does as a sweeper, Edison does as a sweeper, Raya does as a sweeper. Do I need to go on? Onana doesn't do any of that. And like Carl Lair inadvertently makes a great comment and a great point. Have our defenders got the pace? Well, I think they have to a certain level. But then you need a goalkeeper who's going to come off his line and actually control that space. It's a key part of what Ruben wants to do and how he wants to play. And I don't get how the goalkeeping situation is not top of an agenda right now. And it always comes back. Romano on Onana, by the way, has said that the situation is open. Now, Ornstein said that United are not looking at Onana right now as top of the agenda. Let's see what he does in the last few days. So Ornstein, in saying what he said about Onana, has kind of put everyone in the mindset of we're not looking for a keeper, but he's still left it open. Let's see how he does. And if a bid comes in, then Onana can still go. Romano has said that if the right bid comes in, United will be open to sell, but only if the right bid comes in. It's 30 million minimum for Andre Onana to leave Manchester United. Simple. Someone has to come in and bid 30 million for him, and United will be open to letting him go. We make a tiny bit of profit, his wages are gone, and we can move forward and get another keeper in. This is where United, I think, are stuck at the moment, because there is too many players that we've spent a lot of money for that are not far enough down the line when it comes to them earning enough for Manchester United or playing well enough for United to earn enough to cover their finances. So, yes, I look at this and you've got stories like Manchester United contacting Espanyol goalkeeper, Joan Garcia. A lot of Manchester United fans and subscribers here have said they would love to see Garcia in at Manchester United. He is one of the top targets. We talked many a times about different Manchester United possible targets in the goalkeeper area. I still believe that there is something that is in the offing regarding Manchester United and the goalkeeper. Yet it's not dead. And Romano's saying that United would still be open if the right bid comes in for Onana. I think the stance is it's not the priority, like Ornstein said. But again, like everything this summer, if that bid comes in, then Manchester United would be open to selling Andre Onana. Everybody is open to selling him. Adam, you were / are a centre-half. How much of a difference does it make to your mentality between having a dodgy keeper and a decent one behind you? I've said this and used this so many times, mates, before, Gary. I'm sure you've heard me say it as well, bud, hopefully. But that is a very, very key question. It puts the fear of death into you, and your performance drops off massively if you have not got a goalkeeper of decent quality behind you. I'm not talking the best. You can be an average shot stopper. My job is as a defender is to stop the shots. And when they go through, your keeper just needs to be able to make the random saves that he has to make. Some of them are spectacular. Some of them are just normal saves. But that goalkeeper has to be able to command from behind you. He has to be your eyes in the back of your head and be ready to understand the situation when it looks like there's a 2-on-1 or a 1-2 going through on goal, or a player looks like he's got the pace on you in defence. He has to be there at a certain position. I don't think Onana reads the game at all. I really don't. I think he's appalling at it. And I'm saying this from a centre-back's point of view. He is. And if he stays at United, he will cause us more harm than good. I'm going to stick by that. I am. And look, if he turns his career around and turns out to be a fantastic goalkeeper for United in the future, great. I would love to be proved wrong. I don't think I will, though. And that's the situation with him. The other fantastic news right now, I'm just going to put a question in, ask you all a question right now into the chat. How excited are you to seeing Ahmad come back from injury? Because Fabrizio Romano broke the news last night as well that Ahmad is back in Manchester United training next week ahead of, yes, that game against Bilbao in the semi-final. Manchester United's season-defining moment. We could have Ahmad back. He won't start. I don't even know if he'll make the squad, but he will be pushing to make the matchday squad against Bilbao next week. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, we've seen the pictures. He's been running on grass, training on grass on his own now for about a week. He's back training with the first team squad next week. Now, questions will be asked to Ruben Amorim later on, and we'll have that covered for you, obviously, as usual in the press conference. Round about 1:15 today we'll be live, so we'll see what the update is on Ahmad. Ruben is going to give us the full update, which is going to be real. I can't wait. But yes, Ahmad coming back is absolute bang on the money. Exact news that we want. Right. Honestly, it's brilliant. And that could be the difference for Man United being in the Champions League next season. It sounds stupid. It sounds like a crazy comment. It sounds a bit far out there, doesn't it? But Ahmad coming back could be the difference for Man United being in the Champions League and bringing in the likes of Edison into next season and a striker into next season, because he could help United win the Europa League. He's that good. He's a difference. He's a game changer. He really is. And I just look at that and go, wow, we've actually got options then going forward. And he couldn't have come back at a better time for United. With Xerxes going down a cropper, we needed that extra man in that front line. Maybe even another option, like we said before, at right wing back for Manchester United. Honestly, Dallo, honestly, he's one step forward and two steps back for me, Dallo. He'll do something great and then bang, gone. Any news on Sanchez? Not at the moment, but it does look likely that a couple of key players are out of the Bilbao side. Now, next week is when we're probably going to be looking into detail a little bit more on Bilbao, obviously. With respect to Bournemouth, we've got that game to get through yet. And obviously, we have got the rest of the weekend to get through. Build up to Bilbao will start on Monday morning, really. But I think we're going to be going into this in a strong position. I've not got much hopes for Bournemouth, I'm going to be honest. But let's see what Ruben says regarding Ahmad and the other injury updates as well. It was good to see Dango actually training with the first team squad. He is going to be going back to Rotherham, though, for the last 2 games of the season. So he's not staying. He hasn't got a chance of featuring for Manchester United. He's obviously loaned, and United just let him train while he was on his recovery. He will be going back to Rotherham. That was the news that came out the other day. Over 200 likes on the morning show. Thank you, everybody. If you are loving the content, please make sure you do pop a like on the video as well, please. Make sure you get your comments in, and also make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV. We are moving on up, everybody. Ant says with a super chat, kind of surprised people are sleeping on Vlahovic. He is a player, but Manchester United, I've looked at a few reports on this now, because I have said that Vlahovic would actually do a job for Manchester United and would be an ideal striker for what we need. The reality is United can't get near his wage demands, and they have found flaws in his game that they feel wouldn't suit Ruben Amorim. So where I thought Vlahovic would have been a good option, he's cheap, experienced, scores goals, can hold up play, can definitely bring our 10s into play as well. He hasn't got that pace over the top. And this is Manchester United doing proper recruitment. We said no to Gyökeres because of the future, and obviously, do you know what, with Gyökeres, it would be interesting would it test Man United's resolve if we made Champions League football? Because apparently that is what he wants. Or would we sign a 27-year-old for 58 million? Because that's what the Athletics said we wouldn't do. We wouldn't spend that money. That's key, I think, as well. So we will see on that one. But, yeah, with Vlahovic, don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. I think United are doing their work. I think United are actually looking at the players that will fit Ruben Amorim's system, and they have to be bang on. Said this before. We have to be absolutely perfect in this window. So let's see what they've got cooking. And going back to the top of the show, like I said again, if Manchester United don't get Dilap, who's next? That's the intriguing bit. And will they be tempted to use that money that they don't spend on Dilap on someone like Edison? That's what I want to keep my eyes on more than anything else. I think that is going to be interesting to see how that develops going forward for Manchester United. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that one. Other news as well regarding Aiden Heaven and the impact that he is having. His protective boot is off, by the way. So he is very, very close to returning for Manchester United, which is excellent news. We said that the other day. But the reports coming out from a few of the papers as well is that Ruben Amorim has now told the Manchester United recruitment team to ease off on looking for a centre-back this summer. They don't need a centre-back. Even with Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof leaving for free, United are not now looking as a priority for a centre-back. They obviously seen the likes of Fredrickson come in the other day, who did well, but Aiden Heaven has been the one that has triggered Ruben Amorim into thinking he doesn't need to spend money on another centre-back this summer. It can be spent elsewhere, which is great, and Ruben has actually alluded to this, so I can see that this story has got legs and could be genuine, because he has said, Ruben Amorim, before, that players like Evan coming through can definitely change your mind about what you do in the transfer window. So really that is saying that he feels like even with Evans and Lindelof leaving, he's got enough. Maguire's there, De Ligt's there, Leach is there. You've got Yoro there, you've got Heaven there, you've got Mazraoui there. There is a lot there to cover Man United's centre-back position right now. And I just don't see it as a needs-must. Like, you can argue we need to bring in a replacement for Maguire. Yes. But if he's staying this next season, which he looks like he is, then we don't need a replacement for him right now when there are other key positions in United's team that need to be fixed first. I mean, that's how Manchester United are looking at it. And I think it's exactly the right decision. I think we do need to look at this and say, look, let's not go spending money on players we don't need right now. And there's other positions that are massive for Manchester United. Ant says, focus on Edison and bring in David. Few people mentioning Jonathan David now. Again, he is a free agent, but there is other fees on top of that. Will United look at that as another option? Brian and Mbumo, Jonathan David. If we don't get Dilap, them options are there for United. We'll see how we look at that going forward, I think. Grayman with his super chats. Last day in the job after 22 years, but going to Bilbao. Living the dream. Good morning, everybody. Make sure that you stay safe next week, Graham. And yes, enjoy your last day, mates. And try and enjoy what options you've got going forward, my friends. Don't let it get you down, buddy, is all I'm saying. And make sure that you do go and live the dream and enjoy your time over in Bilbao, mate. Few Estrellas for me, mate, there, buddy. Get drinking, mate, and have a ball, is what I say. Our targets are going to be well suited to our team needs going forward. No more spare parts for the Ford when we are driving a Chevy. I wonder where that was going then. That's why I paused on the Ford bit. Good analogy though. Yes, Heaven coming back too is great. No, we need to have Dilap. We need to have Dilap, Heaven, Yoro, Martinez, Tyler, Mazraoui. We are covered in that position. Is there anybody that thinks we need a centre back this summer? Honestly, I mean, come on, we don't, do we? I think we are well covered in that area. We don't need a centre back. Heaven coming back is great news for United. Obviously, you've got Yoro's emergence. You've got Fredrickson coming through and doing what he did. Kokonki's not a million miles away. Just like I said, Dilap's back in training. Martinez is back next year. I think Martinez will be the one that goes out of all of them. I think we could be looking at centre-backs next summer, because next summer I can see Martinez and Maguire both leaving Manchester United. I can. I really can. I think that's next summer's going to be big for Man United. When is centre-back ever not being a big talking point in a transfer window for Man United, though? You know what I mean? No to the centre-back this summer. I think we will need one or two the summer after. Pretty much what I just said, yeah. I could see a couple leaving next summer for Manchester United. But yeah, just to go over the news, if you have just joined us as well, we're talking about Edison possibly being Manchester United's target for the number 8 role. Again, yes, but what Romano said is Manchester United are in no rush to sign Edison. They have to obviously sort finances out after we sort the striker situation out with Dilap. We are waiting to see what happens with Dilap first of all, and we will know within probably, I think 5 weeks' time, when the window opens, what's happening with Dilap. But a lot hinges on that transfer. Cunha is definitely going to come to Manchester United. Final stages of contract talks and negotiations with Wolves, according to Romano. Later stages of deals there on that one right now. Romano also says that United could still sell Andre Nana if the bid comes in this window. Rasmus Højlund could be used as a make-weight and sold, and Romano also saying that Højlund can be sold by Manchester United if they bring another striker in. Do we have enough? That's a question that we've asked. Aidan Heaven has stopped Ruben Amorim from thinking of bringing in a centre-back this summer as well. So, all finances are going to be spent on this number 9 and a number 8. Possibly a right wing-back. All depends on what happens. That's where United's summer is going. They're the 4 positions. Right wing back, number 8, number 10, number 9. We're almost over the line with 2 of them positions already. So it's going to be a really interesting summer in terms of Manchester United outgoings, because if we do go big on the outgoings like we've said, if we see the end of Garnacho, if we see Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, possibly Casemiro leaving, he's happy at Manchester United, Romano says. We know this, but if that bid comes in above 20 million, then Casemiro's gone. United will replace him. And that may bring United to the table for another midfielder. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually went out and bought Joe Bellingham and Edison? That would be forward-thinking transfer window for United. Because let's not forget, Eriksen leaving, Casemiro leaving. They're 2 key squad positions for Manchester United. Yes, they may not have had the full season, but you still have to replace that type of player. And I think that's what Manchester United will do in the summer. I think we will get another midfielder as well. A younger one and probably an experienced one. But honestly, I would be really excited if United went out and bought Joe Bellingham and Edison. Can you imagine if United managed to get that done? That would be absolutely moving towards top 4 for me. 100%. 100%. Next season anyway. Big shout, that, innit? One thing I say is all these players that we link to, like Cunha, Dilap, let's hope they don't choke. Mentality is key for them. Look, that's why we're scouting them so long, mate. That's why we're making sure that these players are right, Ray. And I think this is where this recruitment team goes into its own. Not buying certain players that have that we have bought before, let's say, and have failed for the reasons like you've said, like mentally wearing that Man United shirt, Ray. It's been a problem. And we've seen it. We've seen players melt. I think this is where the recruitment team has to get it bang on. And I think I said it last night again. Rio Ferdinand said it. We need characters, not quality play. Like, we need the quality in players, but we need characters more than anything right now. People who can wear that shirt. That's what we're looking at. That pretty much is our show done, everybody. We're only 35 likes away from that 300 live like mark. So if you have loved the content, please pop a like on the video, everybody. That would be fantastic. I will be back at 1:15 with the live updates and press conference from Ruben Amorim, of course, as always. Please hit that subscribe button on the way out as well, everyone. Drop your comments in. Thank you, mods. Thank you, members in the chat, for helping out. And also, thank you to all of the people who donated on the Super Chats and donating as members as well. That is us done, everyone. I'll see you all at lunchtime. Have a great... Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Gee, I lost